Welcome to part 2 of the Luffy model tutorial. Today I'll teach you how to model and texture anime hair for your Roblox characters. If you haven't already watched part 1, I strongly advise you to do so because I've shared some very important tips and shortcuts in that video. Now, let's finally get some modeling. The first thing we're going to do is create a simple cube and align the center of that cube to the center of the head. As you can see, I also deleted the bottom face of the cube, after which I added a subdivision surface modifier. Now we tweak a few vertices while in subdivision mode, and lastly, we apply the modifier. Now we finally have the base of the hair finished. The last thing we have to do is delete half of the mesh and apply a mirror modifier. We want the base of our hair to look more natural. That's why we don't leave the back of it flat as it is now. So to help with that, I always use the knife tool to cut away some of the bottom faces of the mesh to create an illusion of 2D strands. I finished that by connecting some vertices and tweaking the shape using proportional editing. You can enable that by pressing O in edit mode. I do the same for the sides and front of the hair. If I'm not yet satisfied with what I have, I start extruding some edges to create more strands and beveling them. Now, if you think it looks flat, you're completely right. We can fix that by cutting the hair strands in the middle, moving the vertices away from us, and sharpening the edge. That creates a more 3D feel. We do that all around the base of the model. Now because this model isn't symmetrical, I have to apply the mirror modifier before we move on. If your model is completely symmetrical, you can just keep the mirror modifier on and move on with the tutorial. Okay, now you know how to do the base. The next step is to create the volume of the hairstyle. I do that in layers from bottom to top. I start selecting the big faces that are left and I poke them. After I poke them, I make another cut around them and I move the vertices out. So this part takes a lot of practice to get down, so please don't get discouraged. Keep on working at it and it's going to get so much easier. The more you fail, the better you get. Please remember that. After that long and tedious process of just extruding and moving vertices, we're finally almost done. The only thing that's left for us to do is to rotate around our model and tweak vertices, move strands, and tweak the general shape with proportional editing if we have to. Please don't skip this step, it's very important. The final thing we have to worry about before texturing is UVs. Now you don't have to bother adding any manual seams or anything like that. Just auto unwrap it and play around with the angle limits if you have any overlapping faces. That's the only issue you can encounter while unwrapping hair. As you can see, we have no more overlapping faces. Very small islands left, but that doesn't matter because we're not using any generators in Substance. It does not matter, keep that in mind. Here's the final model before texturing. As you can see, now I've imported everything into Substance Painter. So a mistake I used to do a lot is paint with paint layers. That leaves you with no option to alter the color after you've put it on the model. That's why I started using fill layers and black masks. You basically just paint with the black mask. After that, you can just alter the color of the fill layer and it changes it just like that. How I like to texture my hair is I create a fill layer with a black mask on. I start off by picking the face select option and selecting the parts that are in shadow. So that means one side of each strand. That way I have a clear path as to what to color in shadow and what to color in light. finished filling in the dark areas, I take the brush and start slightly modifying what I've done. is the time to add some highlights. Now Luffy's hair doesn't really have any highlights in the anime, but I think I'll add some because I like the way they look. You can do anything you want, although I won't overdo them. I just make them slightly lighter than the base color. Our model is done, finally. If you want to make any tweaks, we've made it so that you can do anything you want. If you remember, using those fill layers, you can change the color anytime. You can even make it red if you want. You can make it blue. It doesn't matter. That's why this workflow is the best for customization. Thank you so much for making it to the end. I hope you enjoyed it, and most of all, I hope you found it useful. Now you should be able to create any character you want for Roblox. As you can see, this is the final result. Please let me know what you think in the comments, give me some suggestions for future videos, and thank you so much for watching. See you next time.